Psalm 67 opens after the personal testimony of Psalm 66. One man blessed God for hearing his prayer and keeping his mercy fixed upon him. Now the congregation speaks together, and the prayer expands outward from one man's deliverance to the ends of the earth. God be merciful unto us, and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us. Selah. Psalm 67, verse 1. The congregation opens with three requests stacked together. God be merciful, bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us. These are not three separate petitions, but one request, each phrase deepening the one before it. The first request, God be merciful unto us, draws from the same word for loving kindness that close Psalm 66. The congregation asks God to act toward them according to his own character, not according to what they deserve. Mercy here is not sentiment. God's covenant faithfulness establishes his people's foundation. The second request, bless us, follows from mercy. Blessings flow from God's favor. The congregation is not demanding prosperity. They are asking God to act toward them as the covenant God who provides and sustains his own. The blessing they seek is God's active goodness poured out upon their lives. The third request is the most intimate, cause his face to shine upon us. This language comes from the Aaronic blessing in Numbers 6, verse 25, where God instructed Aaron to pronounce this very blessing over Israel. The shining face of God represents his full favor and undivided attention toward his people. When God's face shines upon someone, nothing is withheld. The congregation asks God to look upon them with complete approval and delight. The Selah following this verse signals a pause, a moment for the congregation to sit with what they have just heard. These three requests carry the full weight of what it means to live under God's favor. That thy way may be known upon earth, thy saving health among all nations. Psalm 67, verse 2. This verse transforms everything that came before it. The congregation did not ask for mercy, blessing, and God's shining face just for their own comfort. They asked for these things so that God's way would become known on earth and his saving health would spread among all nations. The word "that" carries enormous significance. It connects God's blessing of Israel to God's purpose for the nations. Israel's prosperity under God's favor was never meant to be a closed system, benefiting only Israel. God blesses his people so that through them, the nations learn who God is and what he does. Thy way refers to God's manner of working, his character in action, his methods of salvation and justice. The nations need to see how God operates. Saving health translates the word for salvation, the same root used throughout the Psalms for deliverance and rescue. The congregation prays that God's salvation would be visible and accessible among all nations and not hidden within Israel's borders. This verse foresees the Great Commission. Jesus sends his disciples to all nations in Matthew 28, verse 19, and the pattern here in Psalm 67 shows this was always God's design. Israel, blessed by God, becomes the means through which God's saving work reaches the earth. Let the people praise thee, O God. Let all the people praise thee. Psalm 67, verse 3. The congregation prays for the universal praise of God. The repetition is deliberate. Let the people praise thee, followed by let all the people praise thee, presses the point twice, without apology. Everyone, every nation, and every tongue is included in this prayer. This is not wishful thinking. It is a petition rooted in God's character and covenant purpose. The congregation prays for what God himself desires, that all peoples would worship him.